Alright, here we have two MacBook Air 11 inches. These are probably around the 2015 era or 2013 era. So one of them powers up, but there's no sound and etc. And this is the bottom. Very surprising it powers up considering this whole line up here is blown. This being blown, I mean, it can have issues with, the thunderbolt and etc. There's a lot of green corrosion marks around here. There's broken capacitors. One is non-existent. The pads are gone. So the one that's not powering on is this one. If I was to take my bets, I would rather repair this one, because this board damage, it's really unknown whether you can actually repair it or not, and whether this chip's traces even remain intact after, and what other damage has been done. The spill patterns are going from all around here to around here, which is really bad. This whole area is blackened out. There is no point repairing this board. Better off using it for spare parts, knowing it powers on, which is good. This one doesn't power on, and as you can see, there's a common chip here at fault, and I believe that is the ISL chip, U7100. So let's take a look on board view and check the schematic as well. Okay, U7100 is an ISL chip, and let's see what goes through. PP3 3V42G3 hot. It controls the charging, AC in. Okay. It's also connected to the SMC bus. And let's take a look. You've got a gate here, which is Q7130. The standard limiter. Okay, so that comes in. Alright, so taking a look at this, it looks like this wouldn't really allow PP bus G3 hot to go through. Cell isn't doing well, and as you can see, there's a ton of liquid damage around here, and this was also kind of burnt. So I think the first thing to do is to check that changing an ISO chip works out alright, making sure I clean the surrounding area of any liquid damage as well, and then testing it out from there. So first I'm going to remove all this rubber stuff and whatnot, because if I'm going to be doing soldering, I do not want any of that burning, having fumes or anything getting in my way. The next thing I'm going to do, just in case there's some CNEs reboarding, is to remove the glue. So, first thing you want to do is to remove the glue around the SMC. Then I'm going to do the whole cleanup. I don't like how there's damage around the RAM area here. Maybe the RAM chip needs to be replaced. If that's the case, that's completely fine, to be honest, as that is easily replaceable as long as you have the stencil, just a light bit of BGA soldering. So let's apply some heat here. Don't need to apply flux yet, just a light bit of heat to the glue. Now that'll get it more way to move off the board, as you can see. then how you tackle these corners is you kind of go in from the corner, don't go straight ahead, otherwise it will snap. Then you kind of want to pull it out, check the chip. There's no glue remaining on the underside, so there's no glue underneath it. Go in from the corner again. Be careful when you're doing this not to aim too inwards. You will feel the trace bumps on your tweezers. If you push any harder, you can scrape the solder mask and or damage the traces. Now inspect the chip. I'll be inspecting this chip just to see if there's any glue underneath it, to which there isn't, and it does not look like water has reached underneath this either. Good thing. So, next bit. Looking at this board, you can see there was stuff going around here, mainly this chip. This chip doesn't look like it was done very well. Unsure to what this is. Could be a form of flux. So let's see when we scrape it what we get back. Just a white substance. Okay, let's see what happens when we heat this. Because when we heat this, we should get flux-like substance movement in the crystallized areas. No flux-like movement. No flux-like movement. Okay. So, first apply some flux to the board. As you can see, we adjusted the component. We'll adjust the zoom. You can see around there. So, once we've applied a bit of flux, we generally want to clean everything up. This is not the sort of flux I like to see getting old on a board. Not great, but it works. So, okay, next examine the board for any bits left on it. Nothing so far. Alright. Next thing we're going to do is examine this side of the board. As you can see, there is some more damage around the battery connector here, so we will most likely be replacing that as well, just for the sake of keeping things intact. This is neither flux residue either, so the unit is clean the residue around the connector. As you can see, most of the residue around the connector has been cleaned off. Now apply a light amount of flux. You do not need much for this part. Now this part's kind of sensitive because you could end up burning this area, you can end up burning that area. You want a nozzle, but that's not going to happen here. So, my best bet for this will be direct underboard heating, even though that is exposure to quite a lot of heat. It will prevent any of the plastic parts from being burned. So we'll start doing that now. this work is done, we're going to test whether the machine powers or not. For that, we'll quickly just inspect the flow chip. Board seems mostly clean except for the area where the ISL was worked on, and that was changed. Okay, so remembering this and keeping it in mind, to fit the board, you want to put pressure down there if you're going to fit it properly, that is. So put pressure on that point. As you can see, this is not a proper fit, so take a second attempt and push in. That pesky connector out. Looking forward here is everyone's favourite foam spit. Yes, we have boot, which is great.